Man, I'm fed up with this team. They're full of failures. Back in my day, to fail was to fall. The hell are you talking about? The only thing failing you is your kidney. I'm so angry. I could hit these guys, honestly. Wait, hang on a second. I've got an idea. A what? Brother, you're 6 centimeters away from me. How can you not hear what I'm saying?
No momento do gol do Caxias, o torcedor da Caxias ainda estava comemorando a abertura do placar.
Oh God, my face, not again. Yo guys, it is your boy Newman here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, there's the news of controversial social media creator and full-time hairline loser Andrew Tate getting out of jail. I don't know what stress the other inmates put him under, but Jesus Christ. Barbers in Turkey are going to be baffled when he walks through the front door.
What are you doing here?
It was a massive day for men without father figures, seeing him strut about, training to be a pedestrian after his cars were confiscated. Ironically though, at least he'll be able to avoid traffic this time. And Andrew will not be too pleased when he sees his brother ordering from that Romanian pizza shop again.
You're a donut! You're so stupid! You're so stupid, you're stupid.
On to the football though now, and in what would have been a top of the table clash for the past few seasons, Liverpool faced off against Manchester City. I mean, to be fair, that scoreline's got potential.
Oh, jeezy bitch.
Ah, fuck this, man. I'm going back to the motherland. Yams for sale. Get your yams here. Liverpool were thumped by Pep Guardiola's Manchester City 4-1 after taking the lead. Following on from Mo Salah's opener, Julian Alvarez, Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, and Jack Grealish completed a comfortable win.
Just fucking fuck off.
Our defence was practically non-existent past 20 minutes here. Virgil van Dijk skipping about didn't help, but honestly, this score was no surprise when you look at the date of the game.
April Fool's Day, he's the biggest fool in Manchester.
We genuinely scored first and said, yeah, nah, April Fools. Fit in as well, because it was a joke of a performance. How many times am I going to have to talk about Fabinho, mate? His response to Jurgen Klopp's team talk at half-time took everybody by surprise.
I would like to be a terrorist.
Oh, no, Fab, please. I hope he's getting calls from clubs elsewhere, mate, because I don't want to see him here.
Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
Salah up top did his job, continuing his crazy record versus Man City. Just a shame that no one else shows up. Man City equalised, and Pep Guardiola decided to celebrate in substitute Kostas Tsimikas' face. He does that to Darwin Núñez, and it's a completely different story at full time.
Hey, Pep, let me get a picture, bro. Why you running off, bro?
Artemelo was happy to oblige with a handshake. What is this BTEC NordVPN Brazilian doing? Jack Grealish was on a mad one with a man of the match performance, and he revealed that he was ill and sick at half time. The guy was definitely hungover, let's be real.
We were the best thing since sliced veggies.
Manuel Akanji is a baller. He definitely just confused Harvey Elliott with advanced arithmetics during this game. What, 6 + 6? Trent Alexander-Arnold. Harvey, you're not even trying. Arsenal fans were fuming that we provided no help whatsoever to their title charge, and we can't even help ourselves, man. Jordan Henderson's blocked by Jude Bellingham on Twitter now. Can I just say, Man City beat us without Erling Haaland. Are you mental? He's fuming that he couldn't stat pad versus us.
A bit shit, but that's all it is.
This result, though, was great for Man City in their pursuit of Arsenal in the title race, and Kyle Walker needed to celebrate. He's getting out on the town after the game.
I found a contact with criminal connections in the southeast of England and set up a covert meeting with a top cocaine dealer.
Now at Chelsea, and it's all kicking off. The Blues lost 2-0 to Aston Villa in a result that spelt the end for Graham Potter, who lost his job with Chelsea 11th in the league. These lot are actually done out, mate.
What do you mean?
Ollie Watkins is slapping it right now, in fairness to Chelsea. And his teammate Leon Bailey had some great advice for centre-back Kalidou Koulibaly.
So you put your foot like this, you rotate it, then you go to the gym, you fat fuck.
This Chelsea appointment of Potter has been a disaster. Poor form, boring football, and the players don't respect him. They've been calling him Hogwarts whilst he's at the club. Are you telling me Enzo Fernandez has seen the Insta memes?
You're a wizard.
No, I'm not.
The players really got him out of there through the order of the Felix. Kai Havertz at least tried to apologise to Graham for getting him sacked on purpose with his awful finishing.
I'm really sorry, Nicky. I'm really sorry. I didn't realise that it was... I'm sorry.
Why are you laughing? It's not a funny situation.
But at least Graham has the option of a new job. At Domino's. Not that he needs it. After Chelsea paid Brighton 20 mil to hire him, they paid 40 mil to sack him. If I'm the physio from the backroom staff, I'm seeing this and wanting a payout too.
I'm leaving here with some.
You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Graham's gone from a tent to a mansion, mate. It was a crazy and surreal spell at the Blues, with a massively bloated squad, and it's all players apparently on the floor during team meetings, the likes of Mudryk and Madueke having to get changed in the corridor. Imagine signing for Chelsea, you've got to go put your kit on in H&M changing rooms. But who replaces him at Chelsea? That's the question. Well, Thomas Tuchel saw an incoming call from Todd Boehly and knew what was going on.
I wanna say I'm sorry for the things I've done.
Luis Enrique's representatives apparently sent off a PowerPoint presentation to Chelsea to disclose why Luis is a good fit for the job. Can't wait to see the final slide once his reps have seen Marc Cucurella play. Imagine him on Twitch after one session with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And then I told him, if I don't see you on JD Sports' website tomorrow, Will still wants to come back to England. He'll be interested in the role. But Chelsea's board won't be impressed when he brings a PowerPoint presentation outlining his latest football manager save at Shakhtar Soligorsk.
What is that? What is that? You're taking the piss.
There are serious reports, though, that former Blues boss Frank Lampard is set to return as interim boss till the end of the season. I get it for stability and someone who knows the club, but it feels like just kicking the can down the road. The first starting 11 he's putting out is going to be crazy. Trevor Chalobah and Reece James won't be able to contain themselves when they see him walk back through the door at Stamford Bridge.
What are you laughing?
He's getting territorial straight away as Frank, especially when he sees Luis Enrique walk through the door for a job interview for next season.
Fuck off, you Spanish cunt.
Todd Boehly does not watch football. I already know it. He's just hoping they finish further down the table so he gets a better draft pick next season. For the most recent game, and Chelsea's caretaker manager was Bruno Saltor. He had the displeasure of overseeing yet another 0-0 draw between Liverpool and Chelsea. Imagine Todd's disappointment when he realises he spent 40 mil to get the exact same football.
Pretty pissed off with it all, to be honest. Put all this work in, spend all that money, and just end up with nothing, really.
This one was genuinely the definition of shambolic football. N'Golo Kante returned to action for the first time in months here. His last 3 home games for Chelsea have been under different managers, being Tuchel, Potter, and now Bruno. N'Golo probably had a harder time against the Chelsea under-23s, to be fair. Jordan Henderson had no respite being chased down by the Frenchman. Until, of course, N'Golo has to play over 63 minutes of football straight.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance!
For me, these two teams are honestly hopeless. Now, in a recent interview, Kai Havertz said he loves donkeys, so much so that he plays with 10 of them. Virgil van Dijk was out with the flu. He's gone 1v1 against influenza and lost. To be honest, his bowels provided more movement than any Liverpool player that evening. Darwin Núñez at least made one kid's day by giving him his shirt at full time. The banner message, though, saying that the kid loves Darwin more than his dad. I'd be fuming if I was him. Chelsea now have only scored 29 goals in 29 matches. Absolutely awful. But then again, so are we. Now on to 2 more banter clubs, as Everton rescued a late draw versus Tottenham thanks to a Michael Keane thunderbolt in a game where both teams went down to 10. Antonio Conte was at home watching on smugly. To be honest, I don't really know what Daniel Levy expected, replacing Conte with Stellini. Did start well though for Spurs fans, with Everton going down to 10 men as Doucouré lashed out at Harry Kane and received a red. Harold's reaction as soon as the hand connected was something else. At least the England captain is winning some silverware this season. But for real, it's a red card. I don't know why anyone was saying that it wasn't. However, Tottenham were forgetting one thing. It's Tottenham.
You guys never win anything, right? No.
All Sean Dyche had to do was tell the truth during his team talk, and so with Lucas Moura coming on as a sub, then uninstalling Michael Keane's shin, leaving his highlights package on the small side, it would be the Everton centre-back who'd pick up the ball and unleash an unreal strike. Keane gave away the pen, got snapped, and then scored. Sky Sports had him watch his screamer on a TV after the game, though they had it on the wrong channel at first.
What do we think of Tottenham?
If Tottenham get Champions League football next season, they'll finish 5th in the group. Wasn't a great weekend for United either, after a loss to Newcastle and shocking performance. Back in February, Eric Ten Hag labelled Newcastle as annoying because of their time wasting. Fast forward to April, and Newcastle don't need it this time. And Jacob Murphy knew that as well, as he came off at full time. It's a shithousery award for the Newcastle wide man. His teammates were even happier about the result. Times were honestly better for United fans during the international break. They've been in awful form since February. Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez must have been sleep deprived. Those two running to chase the ball down in behind. Jesus Christ.
Well, Alice, it seems we both got autism, haven't we?
Meanwhile, Wout Weghorst still is yet to score a league goal. Security ain't letting him in Old Trafford next time, I'm telling you now.
Weghorst? I've never heard. That's not even a real name.
The fans are going to be escorting him then straight back to Burnley. Meanwhile, for Newcastle, it's good to see them back in some solid form, and that combination of Isak and Wilson is delightful. Arsenal stayed top by 8 points with a 4-1 win over Leeds. Jesus returned just in time for Easter. Where have we heard that one before? The Gunners didn't even need Bukayo Saka or his now iconic celebration. His influence is actually crazy. Meanwhile, Zinchenko's celebrations, a little bit more unconventional. Domino's are offering out free pizza for everyone if Arsenal win the league this season. Imagine being a Gunners fan, realising you're getting an open-top bus tour and a barbecue meat feast at the end of the campaign.
It's a good day, Robbie!
Though they'll be less impressed when a delivery don forgets the garlic and herb dip. Ben White scored against Leeds as well, and so brought their dance moves out midweek. It's been a dramatic week for Aston Villa as well, who grabbed a late win versus Leicester thanks to a Bertrand Traoré beauty. The Foxes sacked Brendan Rodgers this week, and it's fair to say that pundits are in shock.
Brendan Rodgers is no longer.
With one manager out, it's another in though, as Roy Hodgson was back with a bang for Palace, his team scoring a 94th minute winner to match his age. Meanwhile, Alexander Mitrovic has received an 8-game ban after his push on a referee versus Manchester United. Considering Eden Hazard only got 3 for kicking a child, I feel like this is a little bit harsh. Though then again, one was an individual with an underdeveloped understanding of the beautiful game, and the other was a child. In Germany now, and there was hectic stuff in the Klassiker. Borussia Dortmund had the chance to claim a firm grip on the title after Bayern dominance. As their goalkeeper, all you've got to do is stay calm. The year is 2756, and Bayern Munich are still Bundesliga champion. Borussia Dortmund actually fall apart anytime there's any pressure on them. The German grass put up a better fight than they did in this one. They're the Tottenham of the Bundesliga, for God's sake. But you know what it is? They went and trained at Moorgate before their Champions League tie against Chelsea. They were in the same city as Tottenham. Of course they're gonna have a nightmare now. An amateur football club in Germany asked Dortmund manager Edin Terzic for some kind of advice after conceding 177 goals this season. Listen, I hope he didn't give any advice based on the Bayern game. And we've now conceded 178 goals this season in Spain, and it's been 4 days without an El Clasico, so you know what time it is. This one was action-packed though, as a hot-headed tie ended 4-0 to Real Madrid in the second leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final, seeing Los Blancos through. Karim Benzema's ready to put his cover letter back on IG after grabbing a hat-trick. This game happens so regularly that Vinicius Jr. has seen Ronald Araujo more than his own family this year. I've got to say, GTA 6 is looking crazy right now. Honestly, sit through the loading screens for this game and Barca still won't be able to score. Eduardo Camavinga at left back is a joke. He could be the water boy and still end up as man of the match. The dream of the double dies now with Barcelona out of the Copa del Rey here, and it's all thanks to Carlo Ancelotti's fucking eyebrow. Real Madrid will play Osasuna in the final, an unreal achievement from them. A truly record-breaking game awaits, and their fans were celebrating in style. One thing that might help with the pain for Barcelona fans is rumours of Lionel Messi's return. He's fallen out of love at the Parc des Princes, with PSG fans booing him in their most recent fixture. He has been seemingly showing a little bit less effort at the club since his World Cup win, and apparently he's not likely to stay at the club for next season. Barcelona will have competition, however, from Saudi side Al Hilal, who are ready to put £400 million down on the table per year in wages. Asked why he's playing Bin Bahlir in the first round of the Saudi Cup next season, Leo's answer was simple.
At the end, we're playing this football because of money. Even though you have 10 million trophy, you can't use that to go and buy food in the supermarket.
Cristiano Ronaldo's going to be fuming when he sees him step out onto the field for the Golf Derby. Mbappe won't be happy when Leo tells him he's leaving him with Carlos Soler. It can't happen anyway. Do you really think growth hormones are allowed over there? Now in Italy, and there were crazy scenes at the end of Inter and Juve's cup tie this week, Romelu Lukaku scored a late penalty, celebrated in front of the Juve fans, before being sent off along with Juan Cuadrado and Samir Handanovic. Absolute chaos at the end of this one, but it turns out Lukaku was responding to racism from Juventus fans. Racism? In Italy?
I have no knowledge of any of this. This is so bizarre.
Look, I know that's a sweeping generalization, but there's a serious problem in Serie A. Any league that creates an anti-racism campaign telling everyone they're monkeys isn't quite in touch with the problems of racism. And once again, a player being punished after receiving prejudice from fans who aren't going to receive any consequences is so backwards, and the Italian FA needs to stand up and realise that it's 30 years in the past. It is quite honestly a tone-deaf and racist league. Lukaku made his response on Instagram, but honestly, it's not even just black black players suffering, as Jose Mourinho had to stop Roma fans from chanting racist abuse to Sampdoria's Serbian coach. In lighter news in Italy though, and Fiorentina's Luca Ranieri faked injury in additional time to allow his teammate Sofian Amrabat to break fast for Ramadan. The true spirit of camaraderie and being a teammate there. But there wasn't quite as much chemistry at Napoli, who were dismantled 4-0 by Milan. They may be runaway leaders, but they were battered here. And this picture sums up the game for both sides. Someone finally stopped this reference number of a surname. No Osimhen, no party. I told you lads, it's yams this week. Masked yams here. Everybody get your masked yam. Elsewhere in Italy, an Empoli versus Lecce had to be delayed after a fire scare in one of the changing rooms. There was a short circuit in the panels above the locker room and that caused a fire. Look, I've heard about things getting heated during team talks, but this seems outrageous. And at Albino Leffe in Serie C, this might be perhaps the worst goal kick of all time.
Very interesting.
In France now, and we've got an absolute abomination of a PSG shirt saying Cristiano Ronaldo's better than Leo after their frustrations with the Argentinian. Nantes manager Antoine Kombouaré has come under fire this week after refusing to include a player in his starting 11 who would be fasting for Ramadan. So the UK's banned all wet wipes. France needs to do the same. Ligue 1 have also announced they will not be allowing breaks during games for people to break fast. And once again, it's an example of a European league being totally backwards. Like, what are we doing here? We stop for about 4 minutes whilst the referee does a VAR decision. Why can't we chill out for 30 seconds whilst people break fast? But elsewhere in France, then there's still some pure joy footballing moments, with a sensational decision to put this kid on a free kick down in the youth setup. But now it's time for your goals of the week, and there's some more beautiful strikes here again. First of all, we start up in Scotland in at Airdrie. Callum Gallagher has brought out an unbelievable piece of skill to find himself in the box and then calmly sticks it in the back of the net. Not quite the same flair over in Portugal at Boa Vista, and instead pure power with this free kick routine. But finally, over in Indonesia, oh, we are mixing segments this time around. Take about Mateus Antonio with some beautiful control and acrobatics for the finish here. Third division side Sparkenburg have made a splash in the Dutch Cup this year with their giant killing spree, but unfortunately it ended in the semi-finals after a 2-1 loss to PSV. To be honest, it would have been a problem if they had won, because the final traditionally takes place on a Sunday, and due to the club's religious beliefs, they refused to play on a Sunday. Either way, they did bow out, but not after delaying kickoff by leaving a tractor out on the field. And on the theme of causing delays, over in Portugal at Estoril under 23, less driving and more flying causing a disruption over there.
Isto é avançado difícil de marcar. É avançado difícil de marcar no ar.
Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Over in Belgium, and there's the ridiculous story of Sofian Keane, who, after driving his car over 180 kilometers per hour, crashed it going over a roundabout and flew through a gymnasium, landing inside the building. Now, thankfully, none of his injuries are life-threatening, but I assume he has been injured. I mean, the guy's just flown something through a gym. Wishing him a speedy recovery, but stupid to be driving that quickly. And he's not even got the XP, for God's sake. In Mexico, and over at Club America versus Leon, absolutely mental scenes where Fernando Hernandez, after being squared up to by a player, decided to knee him, bringing the player himself down to the floor. Is he getting an 8-game ban as well, or what happens if VAR gets involved for this one? Well lads, looks like I'm off. Decide amongst yourselves from here. In Egypt, and after Zamalek went 3-2 down to Al Merreikh, their fans created an angry emoji by ordering themselves in a certain shape in the crowd, and the owner of the club has attempted to combat this by asking for the fans to be banned from the club.
Olha o Jairzinho, olha o pique, olha a primeira, e o Adão vai, ele acaba passando por ele, não consegue pegar na sequência, já pega agora também com a cabeça, já vai ali o M5 tentando pegar o passo pelo segundo, é falta, acaba conseguindo, vai mandar, tem o louco, olha o M5, vai mandar o rap, vai mandar ali o tanque, não conseguiu. What in the world? They remade my video. Yeah, this is crazy shenanigans. I don't know where this clip is coming from, but it's totally outrageous. At least there's less dramatic scenes in the pool afterwards.
In Paraguay, and I'm not gonna lie, lads, I think they should try and invest in some stronger advertising boards. In Japan, and I know everyone likes to play out from the back these days, but I'll be honest, sometimes you just got to accept that some defenders and some goalkeepers can't do it. Over in South America, and they've invented a mystery additional time segment for their games. FK Austria fans take football very seriously, even when it's their under-7s, as you can see from the pyros in the crowd here. In Sweden, and we've got a new Luis Suarez regen that's just dropped. When the fans asked for a little bit of extra bite from the performance, this is not what they had in mind. In Ireland, and we had almost the greatest own goal of the century as a defender cleared it against his own head and onto the bar. Measured. Meanwhile, in Brazil, and a 37-year-old over there has 6 wives and is expecting a kid with all of them. This is textbook Neymar behavior. He's going to be balling when Florentino Perez goes shopping in his living room. Closer to home, and Bournemouth forward Dango Ouattara probably needs to invest in a new graphic designer, I'm not gonna lie. This was made on a dishwasher, mate. Meanwhile, Bolton won the EFL trophy this week, but that wasn't the toughest thing for Ricardo Santos, who was struggling with the Wembley stairs. I love how you've just played 90 minutes of football, but a staircase is where you draw the line.
He could have been killed.
In Singapore now, and arguably the award for the worst technique for an own goal this week has got to come from their top flight. But the quickest own goal of the week goes to Egypt, with one defender putting through his own net just 15 seconds in. Over in Turkey, with Jamiroquai down on the ground, someone is adding insult to injury, and I think I've cracked the code as to who it is. In women's football over in Mexico, and there's absolutely nothing to see here. There's dramatic scenes in Wales where Aberystwyth managed to climb out of the drop zone thanks to a last-minute goal from a corner from their goalkeeper. If that's what keeps them up, he's going to be a hero forever. Malaysian football seems to have added a new tactic to its armory, the 1-5-5. Why are they adding the goalkeeper as the one? In Croatia, there's no controlling the animals over there, especially not for the ground staff. Perhaps the most impressive throw-in I've ever seen in my life, where we've got an acrobatic flip launching the ball about the distance of the entire pitch. There's honestly professional footballers that can't kick it that far. Velez Mostar, definitely pronouncing that wrong, but over in Bosnia, probably have the most daunting away end. I mean, it's literally a cage. You'd put a cat in that to take them to the vet. Next up, and this semi-pro baller has been learning from Cristiano Ronaldo's free kick techniques his entire life. And he's got it nailed down to perfection. And over in Brazil, Coletiva have been charged for match fixing after working towards a specific result, giving away a goal on purpose in a game in 2022. The footage has now been released, and it's fair to say they were guilty. Why are you there? Now there is time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is the segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. Now, when a ball is bouncing around in your area and when you're constantly under pressure, you've got to keep your focus and your concentration. As soon as the ball drops to you, you've got to smash that one away. Not put that one away. I mean, it's a great finish, but not in the right. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Australia, and Aidan O'Neill probably holds the record for the longest brace in footballing history, with 110 days coming before his first goal of the game and his second. This was after the Melbourne derby was interrupted over 100 days ago and continued from the point of postponement this week, when he scored his first goal in the original game before it was called off, and then scored again this week to ensure that he scored 2 goals in the same game 110 days apart. Heading up to Norway now, and they pulled off probably the most convincing April Fool's Day prank of anyone, tricking fans in the nation into thinking they'll be able to vote on VAR decisions moving forward. Yet, turns out they managed to catch out quite a few Norwegian footy fans with this revelation, and it's really a good job that's not coming to the rest of the European leagues, otherwise we would be getting Barcelona. And finally, over in Zimbabwe, there is a story of Herentals FC's striker Innocent Benza, who is 52 years old. This man is still starting for his club at the ripe old age of 52, and I say his club because he's not only the captain for the Zimbabwean First Division side, but he also owns the club. Yeah, I think it's fair to say we now know why he's getting game time. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.